to the theme park vloggers that are trying so hard to be on the dime of Universal and Disney, go for it. Don't let me hold you back. Because if that type of person is annoyed with my type of content and supports that type of content, I'm okay with not having them view my channel. My audience has been filled with morality, people who know what can happen when someone drinks and drives and gets behind the wheel. My audience is intelligent. My audience is sharing their thoughts, their stories. My audience is brave. To the commentator on my channel who said that I need to blend in and not stand up for people or talk about anything, I'm sorry, I'm going to. So this video is a little bit of a reaction and to criticism that I've been getting on my channel. They'll say none of this is true. And it's like, you guys do know that there have been multiple Disney cast members arrested. There's been activity at the Port Orleans Riverside Resort. I think there was a sting operation at Port Orleans Riverside. There was I think there was like a fugitive at Port Orleans Riverside or some other story that happened. There are incidents that have actually happened at Port Orleans Riverside. Yes, it's a beautiful resort. It's one of the, in my opinion, the most beautiful resorts at Disney World, but this is the real world and these things do happen. So when I have people in the comments, they'll be like, nothing bad has ever happened at Disney World. It's like, you do read the news, right? I've talked about, the disability community and hidden disabilities, and I think that I'm forming a very nice community on this channel where other people have given me advice and we talk about our experiences. And then you'll get like the horrible negative comment, people with disabilities should know better and going to theme parks. And it's just like, that immediately stands out that this is obviously someone who is not a nice person. One of the things that they told me in the commentary of this comment was basically to stop talking about controversial things, blend in, and just be one of the other theme park vloggers. And my answer to that is no. No. There are too many people out there who have experienced inadequacies, the underdog. The disability community has been mistreated, and I am going to continue to stand up for people and continue to voice opinions, bring light to different situations. And so to the commentator on my channel who said that I need to blend in and not stand up for people or talk about anything, I'm sorry, I'm going to. They spoke about how I needed to stop alienating the Disney audience. In other words, that if you put out videos that start to talk about inadequacies and there's a Disney audience person out there who wants to see everything is great, everything is wonderful, you may alienate that audience. And I'll just read to you something that I had composed my thoughts on that. They're talking about the Disney audience, people who generally watch theme park vloggers, live streamers, all that. There was a theme park content creator who got into their vehicle on air after downing approximately 5 drinks out with friends. This is something I actually watched when they were on. They streamed this to their audience. Only 1 or 2 people in the comments that were rolling asked them if they were okay to drive. The vlogger was belligerent and aggressive, as alcoholics sometimes are when they're questioned about their intake. A majority of the audience in the comments that were rolling stuck up for the vlogger and basically agreed with the belligerents that they are a grown adult and they know how to handle their liquor. So to my commentator who said, I will alienate the Disney audience, are you referring to that audience? The audience that was in the comment section that said, you go, enjoy your liquor. Because if that type of person is annoyed with my type of content and supports that type of content, I'm okay with not having them view my channel. My audience has been filled with morality, people who know what can happen when someone drinks and drives and gets behind the wheel. My audience is intelligent. My audience is sharing their thoughts, their stories. My audience is brave. I think that when people comment on people's channels and they tell you to stop making content like this, they're expecting that you circle back, you backtrack. What happens then is you end up making every audience upset. You've got the audience that doesn't agree with you, and you got the audience that you've let down because you don't seem to be aligning with your own views anymore. I would see on some of these blogs where people write stories about Disney, and someone covered the story about the former Disney employee, a young girl that worked at the World of Disney store. I did a video on this, and she had a disability. Disney was very abusive to her, and they fired her essentially because of her disability, and she is suing the Disney company. And when you go onto their website, you'll see this person who wrote the article, you'll see comments one after another, disgusting comments She should have known better. She shouldn't have been working. It's like, in the event that's Disney or just a fanatic fan, it's like, you guys are creepy. I had a recent comment on my video where I spoke about the AAP, which is the Attraction Assistance Pass at Walt Disney World, and that a viewer of my channel had brought it to my attention that they also use the AAP for their family, and that they were unaware of something called the Gold AAP, and how they were upset with Universal for not giving them that information ahead of time, and Universal tries to keep this as secretive as possible. Did a video on that, and someone commented on my channel with a very long rant, basically saying that people with disabilities shouldn't even go to theme parks. The other things that they said, which were a little strange, were that they went on a rant where they spoke about how they love the main theme park vloggers and how I should try to be like them and not ever say anything negative and be like them and learn from them. It was worded in a very weird way, in a very narcissistic third-person way, and it was just weird. And it kind of raised an eyebrow for me that I actually questioned whether this was composed by one of your theme park vloggers. And what was interesting was the username handle is correlated to something very specific about one of the, it's not like their channel or anything, but it's correlated to a very specific detail of one of the actual theme park vloggers, which raises an eyebrow. I wouldn't be surprised. And my message to them is I'm not competing with you guys. I am my own person. I do not consider myself to be a theme park vlogger. I am just someone who's going to be very honest, explore life, have adventures, and give very, very honest reviews. What I'm realizing is, and I had someone who was familiar with my content, they told me that when you start to get that pushback, where you've put out content and you're starting to see that pushback, you really kind of know you have something there. Because if everyone is just cheering and everything, it's just like everyone else. But when you know you're starting to get that pushback, I think you know you've pinpointed something that people don't want you to talk about. And I feel that when I had the experiences I had happen at Disney World, specifically, where there were these abuses of people with disabilities, people with hidden disabilities, mistreatment of harassment of women, inappropriate behavior towards women, that type of thing. I realized that, number one, my bubble was shattered because I went there thinking that everything was great and that I was supportive of saying Disney is great. And I ended up getting this rude awakening, and I ended up realizing when I ended up posting the video of my experience and it got a large amount of interaction and other people were sharing their stories and it created that sense of community, that was more of my purpose. And that doesn't mean on this channel that I'm not going to go places and show you fun travels and that sort of thing, but I'm going to do it in a very authentic way. For example, I could have a trip where I go somewhere, a 7 or 8 night stay somewhere, and there's a lot of good points that happen, but there's also an experience or two that I need to address, and I'm not going to be fake and attempt to be on the dime of these theme parks, which I think that ship has sailed. And it wouldn't have ever been moral to do so. To the theme park vloggers that are trying so hard to be on the dime of Universal and Disney, go for it. Don't let me hold you back. But I'm not going to be that person. I have a sense of morality, and I will tell you honestly when something's good and when I do not believe something is good. One of the things the person wrote in the comment was to essentially be more like the Disney vloggers and the Universal vloggers. And unfortunately, the same way the Disney bubble was shattered and you ended up realizing that, yes, overall Disney is safe, but it's still the real world. I read an article on that. And, you have some people who do bad things that are Disney cast members. Some of the theme park vloggers, it's bewildering that they are theme park vloggers and that they are in a familial environment. You've got a good 4 theme park vloggers that have some interesting arrest records. You may have people come back and say, well, everyone deserves a second chance. Well, it's like, if you're in a theme park environment, a familial environment, you're walking around that environment consistently, and I know that you have this type of arrest record, it's a little unsettling. And there's at least 4 theme park vloggers out there that have arrest records. This is the real world. This is who they are. They have those arrest records, and yet they go into the park and they smile and they pose with Mickey. it's interesting how the direction of my channel has changed. Again, I will still do, you'll see still on this channel, a fun, energetic vlog where I go somewhere and experience something, but the difference that separates me, I think, from some of these other vloggers is that it's not going to be a sugar-coated experience. You'll see me check in and I may say, oh, that's really cool, and that's really cool, and that's really cool, and that was not so cool. And you're getting real life. You're not going to get some watered down Mickey-like version of me. It's not how I've been. And when they say, oh, you're going to alienate your audience, it's like, I know who I am. I know who my audience is. I'm not circling back. I'm not backtracking. I know exactly who I am. It's the same person who's going to tell you, I'm going to keep making the videos. I'm going to keep telling the truth. I'm going to keep standing up for people. If I see a person with disabilities being mistreated at a theme park, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about that person's experience and give a platform where other people can share their thoughts and create a sense of community, because I'm not interested in being on anyone's dime. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much to the audience that has started to create a sense of community. And I think I was very naive in the type of content that I think was going to be true to my character. When I went to Disney, I ended up having experiences there that were unsettling. I mean, I had experiences, a housekeeper, room inspection asking if I had Haitian in me. I had a Disney security person at a monorail hotel wanding my butt. There were a lot unexpected encounters that I ended up having happen, kind of burst my Disney bubble, no pun intended, because I went there under the intent of just complete bliss, positivity, the bubble, and I figured, oh, that's the type of content I'm going to make on this channel. I was in for kind of a rude awakening that my experience seemed like it was going to be a different one, and there's other guests out there who have also had similar experiences to mine, and I was extremely disappointed that I ended up encountering, honestly, abuses that were happening. I wasn't used to that. I was used to going to the Disney that I remember when I was very young, and it's changed a lot. And I ended up going to Disney and having an unimaginable amount of things happen within an 8-day trip. Cast members that were racist, thinking that I only spoke Spanish because I have ethnic features, abuse with the DAS system, a number of things that happened, and it happened all within an 8-day period. A lot of you have helped me out as well. I had, like I said, a viewer not that long ago write and tell me about the Gold AAP, and I very much appreciate you. And thank you to everyone who is creating this sense of community on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video, and bye!